You can lose your job, your business can crumble, the idea of where you should be in life cannot be lining up with your expectations, and that perfect day that you're having can change in an instant. But there is one thing that no one can take from you, and that is your thoughts are not just background noise. You need to know that they shape how you feel, what you notice, and the actions that you take after the thought. I want to walk through 4 key ways to put that to work for you. All right, let's get into it. Hey there, welcome back, or welcome. As you know, or maybe you don't know, on this channel we talk about how in life it's not only me and it's not only you, but life's ups and downs are universal. Let us dive into the 4 ways that you can use your thoughts for your benefit. Let's start with the first one, reframing the situation. And we cannot stop thoughts from coming, but we can use them to our benefit. So you want to look at things from a different angle. The situation is the situation, but your perspective in the situation can make all the difference. So I want to give you some examples of reframing your perspective. You could start with one of the, typical scenarios. You're assigned something or you have to give a presentation. Your mindset could be just that. I have to give a presentation. However, if you reframe it, what you could try is, I get to share something I know. You may know a little bit about it. You may know a lot about it, but you get to share something that you know. The story that you tell yourself changes the stress or the energy that comes along with whatever the situation is. For example, you could think about commuting, right? Maybe you want to say, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm late. I'm trapped, stuck in traffic. Or you could reframe that to, I get 20 minutes to listen to my audiobook. I get 20 minutes to sit in silence. I get 20 minutes to listen to NotonlyCass, right? Isn't that nice? Look at that, just like that. Your whole mood's uplifted. You're feeling better just from reframing something, a thought, reframing a thought about a situation that it does not change the situation. You still get to give the presentation. You still are in the car for the commute, but your mindset is different in it. You even think about 2 people walking in the rain, right? They could have very different perspectives, but what doesn't change is 2 people walking in the rain, but they could both have very different experiences while going through that situation. Number 2, you want to direct your focus, because whatever you focus on is what's going to grow. So, keep that in mind as you are looking at, things to zero in. If you can start asking better questions, your brain will begin hunting for better answers. I've said it in a previous video about how your brain really is doing a lot of work for you. It is your number 1 employee. And unfortunately, sometimes we send our brain on missions that further drive us into a hole by stressing over details or focusing on something that you don't want to happen so much that your brain is going to want to, remind you like, oh, we don't want this to happen. We don't want this to happen. I'm doing good, right? We don't want this to happen. And instead, what we can do is feed our brain or ask our brain things that we do want to happen or we do want to focus on so that it can do the proper work of reminding us. Now it's just reminding us of the things that are beneficial to us. Think about how you feel when you ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? That doesn't bring up anything good. But if you reframe it, and if you instead say, what's one thing I can do right now? You're trying to take back some form of control in that instance by asking yourself that question. You're not playing the victim role. Instead, what you're doing is you are empowering your brain to go on a mission and to find you better answers. Number 3 is visualizing the outcome. And you want to mentally play it back, rehearse whatever the win is before it happens. I know that actors do this, athletes do this. They will basically prepare or prime their minds and their bodies for the thing, the scene, the play to go exactly how they want it to go. And then that allows them to execute with having a visual in mind of the desired scenario or the win taking place. Implementing the visualization step can look like, before you engage in a tough conversation, picture yourself calm, picture yourself very clear, communicating effectively, getting the information across that you want to get across, maybe the other person being very receptive, the conversation reaching a resolve that is very positive, both parties smiling or coming to some sort of resolve that is mutually beneficial. That's a lot to say, it went well. But you're visualizing it and you're giving it a level of detail that you can see and bring before your eyes while you're executing that conversation. Because the thoughts that you have about that conversation gives your body a certain amount of energy. And you don't want the anxious energy, the jittery energy, the negative energy. Instead, with you painting a picture, you are telling your brain, here's the energy that I want to maintain throughout this conversation. Here's what I would like to feel throughout this conversation. And you give your body a chance to go to work for you and keep bringing that up, helping you feel those things, think those thoughts during that conversation, and seeing that visual representation before, during, and hopefully the end result afterwards aligns with that as well. Step 4 is catch and then replace the negative loop. You cannot stop every thought, but you can interrupt the spiral that comes from the thought. This action looks like you have the negative thought. You notice it, you name it, and then you swap it out. And I want to give you an example of this because this is what can help you in real time change this cycle, change the loop out completely. So the example is, I'll never get this. Whatever this is, you're working on something, you feel defeated, it's difficult, I'll never get this. You then switch that to, I have not figured this out yet. You're not lying to yourself by saying, I've got this. You are being honest and you're communicating truth with positivity. I have not figured this out yet. And what that does is that changes the tone, it changes the energy, it changes the weight that comes with, I'll never get this. I'll never get this is very discouraging and very defeating. But I have not figured this out yet is realistic, and also optimistic, because the yet alludes to a time that you will figure this out, or you will have this or understand this more clearly. You can lose your job, your business can crumble, the idea of where you should be in life cannot be lining up with your expectations, and that perfect day that you're having can change in an instant. But there is one thing that no one can take from you, and that is the thought that you choose to have next. Next being after whatever the experience or the realization that you come to. That is what no one can take from you. That is the one thing that you control. It's not a small thing, it's everything. And that is the thing that you have to master. That's the thing that drives the subsequent emotions, the subsequent feelings, your reality. It paints your reality, what you choose to think next, which also will drive what you do next. When you master that one input, when you master that thing, every single one of your outputs in life will change. But you have to master that one input, which is those perspectives and your thoughts. That's what you have to master. And then everything else is cake. Not perfect, but everything else is cake in terms of it becomes easier. You're less resistant. You flow a lot better through life. So that's the big key here. And what you really get to determine is, am Am I driving or are my thoughts driving? Who's the driver here? I used to play a game and it was called Driver. It was really cool, just a driver game. But anyways, that's what we want to get clear on. Who is the driver? Are you the driver? Then be the driver. If you want your thoughts to drive you, then let your thoughts drive you and continue to get the results that you're getting. Or you can take that steering wheel, like that car just revved up. You can take that steering wheel and you can choose to drive going forward. You get to choose. You decide. That's what changes everything. And that's all I wanted to call out in this video, is that your thoughts are very powerful and you choose if you want to drive them or if you want them to drive you. So sunshine, we have reached the end of this video. Leave me a comment if you want to be a driver. You can put a steering wheel, you can put I want to drive, you can say this was helpful, thank you, whatever resonates with you. If you never comment on videos, I encourage you to comment. If you have not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the number. We would love to have you, chop it up with you in the comments, all that good stuff. All right, well, have a great day, sunshine. Continue to thrive. Consider taking that steering wheel and driving your thoughts in the direction that you want them to go, knowing that you get to make that choice. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.